Styles change, trends change, and style rules definitely change. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the style rules that we grew up with and how we are breaking them in 2023. Hey, this is Netta. Welcome to my channel. My whole goal for this channel is to help you build a wardrobe that you love, that makes you feel beautiful, makes you feel excited to go out the door, makes you feel excited to stay at home, whatever your day brings, but really supports you in your day, supports you in your confidence, and supports you in just your everyday, like productivity, energy level, all the things. I really think that clothes have a lot more power and kind of a lot more impact than we tend to think. So that's the goal of this channel. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then you should really just go ahead and click that red subscribe button. It's totally free. Like, it's free, and we get to hang out like twice a week. It's awesome. Today I'm excited because I talked about this. Actually, I did this topic in a Facebook Live a few days ago, and I thought, this really deserves a YouTube video, because Facebook Lives, the quality is just never quite the same as shooting with my camera on YouTube, and I have a wider audience here, and I really wanted to make sure that you guys saw this information, because let's face it, most of the women who follow my channel, who subscribe, most of the women in my community are right around my age, or a little younger, a little older. Maybe you're in your 30s, but many of the women in my style community are 40 plus. Now 40 plus, all the way up, right? Like, so we have a wide range of style influences and eras represented in this community, but most of us are definitely adults. We are definitely in the 40 plus range. And when you're in the 40 plus age range, you come at style with a lot of baggage. You have a lot of baggage when it comes to your style. Recently got an email from a member of my Ageless Style program who, she said her mother's Italian, but she has a mix of genetics. And so she's got lighter hair, lighter skin, lighter eyes. Her mom has this deep olive skin, and always her mom would put her in the colors that worked for her. And she would always tell her, don't wear camel. Camel makes you look like you're naked. I say that all the time because I have that same coloring. But the colors that worked on her mom did not necessarily work on her. And we were talking about like the style rules that we grew up with. I'm going to share a couple with you because I did a whole video on lessons I learned from my Egyptian mother, and she taught me so well. She's always, and to this day, looks stylish and pulled together and is feminine. But there are a couple of rules, some that I've broken, and some that I've stayed true to. One of the rules that I've stayed true to is that I always wear earrings and blush. She never let us out of the house, high school and beyond, without earrings and blush. Where are your earrings? Where's your blush? She's totally right. On my skin tone, I tend to look very flat if I don't have a little bit of color in my cheeks. So I always encourage my girls, put a little color on your cheeks, makes all the difference. And earrings make all the difference. But a couple rules that she had that I don't necessarily stick by. One of them is to not wear black. In Egyptian culture, black is really associated with funerals, and she just, to this day, does not wear a lot of black, does not love black. I love black. One of the colors that she cautioned me about that she was absolutely right about is camel and beige. We love camel, we love beige. Everyone in my family loves those colors, just not on us. Just not on us. It makes me look like I'm naked, matches my skin. It is not flattering. It's just not flattering. I love it, but it's not for me. So we all grew up with information and with tips and with guidelines and with rules. A lot of those rules were based in the time period that we grew up in. So I turned 10 in 1980. So 1980s were my era where I really learned about style. And 1980s was the era of bigger is better and everything matching. So when we would go to we went to Burdine's, the Florida store, like pretty much every Saturday, my mom and sister and I, we'd buy an outfit or we'd buy something. And if you bought an outfit, you had to buy the jewelry to go with the outfit. And the jewelry had to be in a set. You had to have the necklace and the earrings and maybe even the bracelet and whatever else to match. But the necklace and earrings had to be a set. They had to match, and they had to match the colors. I very much remember buying an outfit that was in blues and greens, and then buying jewelry that matched, that had the blues and greens from the outfit in the jewelry. That's just what you did. That's what you did. Your lips and nails matched, your shoes and bag matched. We're going to talk about all that in today's video and the style rules that we should and can be breaking in 2023. So first of all, let me just give you back up and give you a big picture view on this. Now there's a spectrum of style rule follower to style rule breaker, classic to eclectic, matching to mixing. And you can fall anywhere you want depending on your personal style on this spectrum. Now, some of you are going to be like me and a little bit more mixers, a little bit more eclectic, a little bit more of, kind of breaking the style rules and style rule breakers. And then there are going to be those of you who have a more refined, more classic, and more rule-following aesthetic. And, there are icons and style inspiration that we can find in both of those camps, and there's no right or wrong way. But there is a way that is a little bit more current and a little bit more modern. So let's look at the classic. So if you've got more classic rule following and more matching aesthetic, you might be inspired by someone like Kate Middleton. Now, Kate Middleton takes this aesthetic and makes it very modern and very elegant. And one of the ways that she does this is that her clothes fit her flawlessly. Her clothes fit her flawlessly. She's never made a misstep when it comes to style. I can't say that about almost anyone else. Like, she always looks good. Her clothes suit her. They just suit her. She's got a classic look. She's got a classic lifestyle, where that's part of her job as a, royal, but also she has clothes that suit and fit her beautifully, and they're tailored to fit her body beautifully. So she takes this classic rule following aesthetic, but she makes it modern with her choices of colors and fabrics and details, and she makes it flattering and not at all frumpy because of the fit and because of the quality of the pieces that she wears. So those are takeaways from Kate Middleton's style. If you're also a classic, also a rule follower, quality has to be exceptional, fit has to be exceptional, and the pieces still have to be modern. Now, I'm going to go on the other end of the spectrum, and someone like Sarah Jessica Parker, who has a much more eclectic personal style. She is my personal style icon, style hero. I love her personal style, and she definitely falls on the more mixing, not matching, the more of a rule breaker aesthetic and a more eclectic aesthetic. And there is a danger with both ends of the spectrum. With classic style, I mentioned you can look matronly, you can look frumpy, you can look dated if not done right. Kate Middleton does it perfectly. With eclectic style, you can look like a hot mess. You can look like you threw on everything but the kitchen sink. You can look like you just threw things on and hope that something stuck, right? That's not the eclectic style that we're going for. But if you look like someone like Sarah Jessica Parker, or you look at someone like Iris Apfel for inspiration, they take that eclectic, and they have very different expressions of that eclectic style, but they take it and they filter it through the lens of their personal style, but also really an understanding of how things work together, how styles work together, and how textures work together, and how to layer effectively, and how to break the rules in a way that's still visually pleasing. And that's an art form on its own. So I would say if you're on the fence, going a little bit more of a Kate Middleton style, it's a lot more of an achievable style, and it's easier to pull off than doing eclectic like Iris Apfel really well. She just has a gift for it. And if you don't have that gift, then maybe, and you might fall somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. You might be like, I like to break some rules and I follow some rules. And I think many women fall somewhere in the middle. So I just kind of wanted to explain that there are pros and cons, pitfalls, and benefits of both of those kind of polar opposites. But growing up, many of us were taught to match and not mix. So suits were worn together. Two-piece dresses were worn together. We didn't break those pieces up. You were taught, well, if you wash the pants, you've got to wash the jacket so they fade the same, like all of that, right? We all were like suits. If you're going to wear a suit to the office, you're going to wear a suit to the office. And you're going to match the shoes to the hem of your garment, always. And you're going to match you're going to match your medals, always. And you're going to match, your jewelry is going to be in matched sets, always. You're going to match your shoes to your bag, always. Those are the rules. So I'm going to break down these rules a little bit and kind of talk about what is the modern take on these rules. Okay, the first is the matching versus mixing. So we are talking about how we pair items together. Now, I wore this outfit recently, and it's striped sweater, and I actually put it on Instagram, and plaid pants. And this is an example of mixing and not matching. Yes, there are some tonal, color matching here, but the patterns are traditionally clashing. Wearing stripes and plaids together traditionally clashes. So that's more of an eclectic. So clashing patterns, clashing colors, doing color blocking, doing incongruous elements together is something that can be seen as clashing and mixing and not matching. Now, matching is going to be wearing, pieces that traditionally match together, neutrals with neutrals, and colors with neutrals, and wearing a black bag and black shoes with a black dress. Those are mixing elements. So mixing versus matching is that one area of that spectrum that we in 2023 are seeing a lot more mixing, and we have for the last several years, than we are matching. However, matching is creeping back into the limelight of style, because I'm seeing matched sets, two-piece dresses. I'm seeing suits. I'm seeing cords, like coordinating pieces that are matching, and I'm seeing jackets with matching dresses, like looks that we haven't seen and that are really quite matchy, and we're seeing that kind of come back into the fashion, on the fashion radar, right? Okay, another area that we were taught to match back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s is the bag and the shoe. Now, for a long time, matching your bag and shoe has been sort of irrelevant. Like, we don't need to match bags and shoes anymore. However, if you have a really classic style, or you're a duchess or a princess, you may want to consider matching your bags and shoes. It's not at all mandatory, and it is one of the style rules that I always break. I pretty much never match my shoes to my bag. It's a very classic look, and so that is something that we have the freedom now to say, do I want to match my bags to my shoes, or do I not want to match my bag to my shoes? Often, what we're seeing instead of a black bag and black shoes is you'll see, maybe you'll have a black bag and a metallic shoe, or a black bag and a colorful shoe, a black bag and a patterned shoe, a black bag and a light neutral shoe. And often we're seeing neutrals mixed together, so a light neutral and a dark neutral in a bag and shoe combo. We can see a metallic and a color. We can see a metallic and a neutral. We can see a color and a neutral. We can see a pattern and a solid neutral. We can see a pattern and a solid color. There are so many different possible configurations of shoe and bag combos. And if you want me to do a video on just shoes and bags, I can do that, because that just sounds really, really, really fun. But we do not need to match our bags and shoes together anymore. So let me know in the comments, do you match your bags to your shoes, or are you not matching your bags to your shoes? I would say the more modern aesthetic the last several years has been away from like matching your shoes to your hemline. So you don't have to wear black shoes with a black dress or navy shoes with a navy dress. You can wear, and one of the things that we've seen a lot the last several years is wearing nude shoes with black, or wearing a metallic shoe with black, rather than wearing black with black. Black with black is not wrong. It's just there are other more modern versions of that look. And so we have a lot more flexibility than we've ever had. And that's really kind of what we're trying to find. 2023, it's not about matching unless you want it to be about matching. Okay, mixing metals. Okay, silver is making a huge comeback in 2023. I feel like we've seen gold a lot for years and years. I know I've been wearing gold a lot more, but my wedding set is platinum. So I have cool and gold and warm metals that I'm wearing all the time. And I've always matched metals, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to wear gold. I'd have to wear all silver because I have a platinum wedding set. So mixing metals is something that was definitely not done a long time ago. Definitely not done in the 70s and 80s and 90s as much, and we're seeing it a lot more now. Now, if you don't really consider yourself a metal mixer, or you're a little worried about dipping your toe into mixed metals, maybe consider a piece that's got both metals on it, like a two-tone watch or a necklace or something that kind of ties those pieces together. Is it wrong to keep metals all the same? Absolutely not. You're always going to have a polished look, a really elegant and classic look if you wear all gold metals, or all silver metals, or all rose gold, or all bronze, or all gunmetal, whatever. But mixing metals is definitely something that a style rule that you can break in 2023. You don't have to match your metals unless you want to. Okay, let's talk about earrings and necklace. I have said this many, many times. I'm going to draw a line here. Unless you're the queen, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. Unless you're the queen, you don't need matched sets of jewelry. Unless you're wearing the crown jewels, you don't need matched sets of jewelry. Not only do you not need matched sets of jewelry, I don't recommend matched sets of jewelry because they are aging. It's aging. It's very aging to wear like a statement necklace with statement earrings, or a necklace and earrings that match exactly. Like I'm wearing gold and gold, but these aren't a set. And so you want to break up the jewelry sets. So I know a lot of women who buy their jewelry in sets. So like if they buy the necklace, they've got to buy the matching earrings, they've got to buy the matching bracelet. That's fine, because maybe at some point that's not going to look matronly and it's going to be really, really trendy. You can keep those pieces and know that you've got the full set if that makes you happy, but don't wear them together, because that is going to look mature. Especially the more detailed, the more statementy those pieces are, if you combine them together, it's going to look a little bit frumpy. So 2023, it's not about matching your jewelry, it's about mixing it up and making it your own look. Okay, the next thing that we all grew up with is suits and sets. Suits and sets. And like I said, I'm seeing kind of a return to suits and sets. But I don't think we're ever going to go back to a place where it's wrong to break up a suit or wrong to break up a set. If you're wearing a two-piece dress ensemble, for example, or you're wearing a blazer with matching pants, that is always going to be okay. It's always going to be great. It's always going to work. But you don't have to wear those pieces together. And you got so much more versatility and so much more mileage from your wardrobe when you can break up pieces and not always view them as a set. I always say, when you're hanging them in your closet, your clothes are not married. Break them up. They're not married. Break them up. So hang all your tops together, including the tops that you always wear with specific bottoms, or that are part of sets, or that are part of two-piece sets, or part of three-piece suits, or part of whatever. Hang them separately. Hang your bottoms separately. Hang your skirts separately, your jackets separately, your dresses separately. So you can see each of those items as a standalone piece in your wardrobe that can be mixed and matched with other pieces to give you more versatility. So suits and sets are not out, but they're not the end-all be-all. You can absolutely and should absolutely break them up, make them more versatile, make them more wearable. And that's the modern approach. It's really about taking all of these different pieces and creating a composition, a harmonious composition of items that really suit you and that make you feel like you, like that are individual to your personal style. So we don't want the eclectic where it looks like a hot mess, everything but the kitchen sink. We don't want the classic where it looks boring and frumpy and dated. We want to do both of those opposites and anything in between in a way that is modern and stylish, that represents our personal style and represents also what's happening in style and in fashion at the moment. So tell me what you think of this concept. I want to hear, like, are you more of a rule follower or rule breaker? Are you more classic or eclectic? Do you like to throw out all the rules you grew up with, or do you embrace a lot of the rules that you grew up with? One of the rules that many of us grew up with is the no white after Labor Day rule, which is definitely no longer a thing. There's so many of those rules that we grew up with that are no longer relevant or even modern in 2023. So I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments where you fall on this spectrum and how you feel about breaking style rules. Are you a rebel like I am? Or are you a little bit more classic like Kate Middleton? Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and you want to see more videos like this. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's the best place to be on YouTube, and you should definitely join us. Love you guys. Bye.